first attempt at a podcast or a vlog or whatever you want to call it for our West Tennessee box score webpage. And we've got a very special guest for this first attempt at this. Just going to try to tell you a little bit about our sites tonight some and maybe tell a few stories. But we got West Tennessee legend Tim Allen with us. He's coached a lot of places. And I first met Tim at Jackson State back in 1995, I guess, the fall of 95, and he's been stuck with me, hanging around ever since. So Tim, welcome to the show.
Well, I'm honored to be your first podcast. I hope this is a wonderful website you put together and something that's been needed in West Tennessee for a long time.
Well, it's kind of got started. I was after 4 years of watching my daughters play, couldn't find anything, no coverage, and I don't want to be the guy that complains about it and not do anything about it. So we decided to just start our own page. And it's funny, I'm so behind the times. Had this guy ask me, he said, "Have you got your socials?" And I was like, well, back about 20 years ago, every Saturday we'd get together and have a lot of drinks and have a Saturday social. And I was like, man, I don't live that lifestyle anymore. He's like, no, social media, you got it. So
Twitter,
Facebook,
Instagram.
We're going to try to do that. It's all new to me. Podcast is new to me. This is getting in front of a camera and trying to talk about it is kind of crazy, but there's going to be a lot on there, and we're going to hope to bring some stuff from the past. We're going to bring back the box scores is the big thing. Been kind of playing with that a little bit, and there'll be some college ones up already, and then looking forward to covering the high school. But Tim here also, as he's got on his BCAT shirt here, I got BCAT's one of our sponsors, and he's been instrumental in contacts with coaches and trying to help us get this off the ground. But if you want to tell us a little bit about BCAT.
Well, you were there when we started it.
I'm going to tell my version of that story.
But it started really as a joke. Dale Burns wanted a day out of school. He was retiring as principal, and he came up and said, "Can you not figure a way to get us a day out of school and go play golf with some of your basketball coaches?" I said, "Absolutely." So this was before even we used email. I mailed out letters to our region. And the first year, we had 13 guys show up. We took a day out of school and went to play golf. We called it a scheduling meeting.
Yep.
The next year, we had about 50 guys. We met at Sharon.
A lot of coaches trying to get out of work.
Yeah.
This is what was going on there.
Once they found out about it. And eventually, then I think the third year, we got some of the college coaches involved, UT Martin and guys, and that we all played at Paris Landing, and we called it. I named it the West Tennessee Coaches Association, and I came up with some topics of discussion that we didn't discuss, but making fun of ourselves really. And so in the spring of 2007, Bruce Slatton called me. This started spreading out to Middle Tennessee coaches, and they would come up to me and they wouldn't even say hi. They'd say, "Hey, when's your scheduling meeting?" And he calls me probably in March of 2007 and said, "Hey, we want to come talk to your coaches association about setting up a statewide." And I said, "Bruce, it's just a joke. We just call it that. Coaches get together, get out of school, go play golf." And so he said, "Well, we still want to talk to y'all. When y'all doing it?" Told him the date. And it was Bruce Slatton was at Culleoka at the time. Bobby Luna, who was at Gallatin and still is at Gallatin. Jason Welch, who's now at Tullahoma, he was at Marion County. Tim Halford was at Portland at the time. Daryl Ruffner was at Midway, and then Jared Shelton was at Crockett County. And we met in Trenton and talked about what we wanted to do. And that fall, we had about a 450 member group at our first clinic. And that was in the fall of 2007. Pat Summit and Bruce Pearl were our headline speakers. And we've had just about anybody over the years, anybody and everybody has come to the clinic. We started in a hotel lobby type deal or ballroom. And after a couple of years, we went on the floor. We just had one this last year at Belmont University. And it's grown to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah. My memory of it was sitting in the office at Bradford, and there was a calendar on the wall. I was a first year teacher. and our principal, Dale Burns, was on his way out. And I was trying to have a contest to see who could miss the most days with Dale, and I was losing miserably. And Dale took pity on us, and he was like, "Look, son, we need to come up with administrative leave." and that's where Tim came up with it. Well, let's get the coaches together, have a scheduling meeting, and that's what we called it. And so it was Dale Burns helping me skip school was kind of, to me, that's my memory of how BCAT got started.
If you remember, I told you, son, you're not going to be able to take more days off than Dale Burns. He had 30-something years.
Yeah. I gave it a good fight. Those years at Bradford, we had a lot of fun in those years, and Dale Burns was great. Somebody needs to make sure Dale Burns sees this. One of my all-time favorite people.
Absolutely.
And BCAT, I'm going to tell you, it's been Julie, my daughter, who's at Freed Hardman now, got to play in the BCAT All-Star game last year. And it was a wonderful event. And what y'all do to promote our kids, it's great. And that's one of the things we're kind of hoping to do with this website, is to just kind of cover kids a little bit better, get them out there and let people see their names. And you know, we've had a great response from coaches so far. I can't promise you they're all going to come through, but at the beginning, it looks like we're going to really be able to bring back those box scores. I came across some in a bin, and I was just like, man, they used to put everything in.
You don't know any. There's nothing on any of the local news, but because they've all been bought by corporate newspapers or corporate companies, and they don't. The local coverage is just doesn't happen.
Yeah, and one of the other things we're wanting to do is. I'm old school, I've got my hat on backwards. I'm a Ken Griffey Jr. I've probably got some Ken Griffey Jr. cards behind us somewhere. I like remembering. So one of the things that we're going to be doing on the website, and it is probably going to be a paid-for piece, but is we call it Back in '82. And we're going back and remembering some of the legends that's come through. We've got a piece that's out on Mac Chandler. And a piece that'll be out on Albert Ellison, and then I'm going to do a piece also on the class of 1992. And 1992 for me was just a special year of high school basketball in this area, where you had Delk, Hamer, Caldwell, you had Garing and Bond. Then in the junior class, you had Charles Duncan from Trenton, who I'm amazed doesn't get talked about more. He's one of the better players I ever played against. And then Corey Johnson.
At Savannah.
He made all the noises while I was guarding him. But that year we're going to try to do a little piece remembering 1992. The Delk, it was a phenomenon.
Oh yeah. I mean, people would line up. It's nothing. What few games I've been to in the last couple of years, the crowds have not been what they used to be. But when he played, you had standing room only.
Oh, it was. I used to beg. I was a freshman in high school. I would beg Mom and Dad, if he was anywhere within an hour, can we go watch? Can we go watch Tony? He would pack the gym. Of course, I also played the craziest gym I ever played in, though, was Denmark West.
Yeah. I
played in the last game ever played in their gym.
I bet that was special.
It was.
What year? What was the year?
That was 1990, 91, 92.
Because we were talking. I was just talking with an old friend. He was wondering what year did West close, and I said,
Lamont Fuller was a freshman. They had a kid named Fred Kenny. He's another one on that list. Now, I think he signed with Alabama. I don't think he stayed there, but initially signed there. They had a kid named Marcus Brooks.
Yep.
I think he went to St. Louis, if I'm not mistaken. But I mean, it was just so many great players in that era. It was awesome times. What all has BCAT got going on coming up?
We talked about, we started out with just a clinic, and we had Bruce Pearl and Pat Summit were our main headliners that first year, and then we had an all-star game, and that was basically all we did for a few years, was have a clinic and then have an all-star game. And then we moved the clinic from a ballroom setting to on the floor, and it's grown ever since then. But we've added several other things. We have the clinic in September. Starting the week of Thanksgiving, we'll have a BCAT Boys Player of the Week, a BCAT Girls Player of the Week. Every week, we have committees that determine that. At the end of the year, after the weekend after the Boys State Tournament, we have our All-Star Weekend, and this is where we do recognize our Hall of Fame inductees. We have at least 4 every year of coaches that have been submitted and voted on by a committee to be inducted into the BCAT Hall of Fame. And obviously some coaches were coaching prior to BCAT. We've included them as well. We recognize coaches of the year. We recognize players of the year, and obviously recognize our all-stars, and then we have all-star games and all-star coaches that are coaching the games from across the state. And then what has turned into our biggest events, because of the way the calendar is set up. Prior to, I guess we've done about 6 years now, but the 7 years. The way the calendar was set up, the only time that college coaches, Division I coaches, were able to go evaluate their players were during AAU time. College coaches didn't like it. High school coaches didn't like it, but that's the way the calendar was set up. And so, along with a couple of states, really led the effort of Indiana, Kentucky, Michigan, helped arrange the calendar to be changed, where coaches could come out and evaluate players during high school summer camp time. And it's been we've had a huge response. This past year we had 111 coaches come to the boys event. We had about 90 women's coaches come to the girls event. We had around 100 girls teams that played in our, it's just a 2-day camp. And we had 165 boys teams this past summer that played in the boys camp. And we will have one major central location. We had it at the TOA Sportsplex for boys, and it was all held around Franklin. We also used some of the surrounding schools because 165 games is tough to schedule. And then in the girls, we hold that around Lebanon with Lebanon High School and Wilson Central, and Mount Juliet, and Green Hill, the new school in Mount Juliet. And it's a big deal because all the college coaches are coming out and watching, the talent of Tennessee. So it's a way that it's a good way to expose those kids to the college coaches all in one setting.
And that's a road trip for me and Nathan.
Yeah. That would be a great. Matter of fact, it was brought up. We should do a somebody should do a podcast at the clinic talking about.
We're your guys. We don't know anything about podcasts, so we're gonna come.
There you go.
We're gonna be at the clinic, putting ourselves out there.
Yeah. You'd see 165 different head coaches at the boys camp.
The great thing about BCAT is it does such a good job promoting players, and that's what we're hoping to do as well with West Tennessee box score. The difference is y'all do a lot to promote coaches and help coaches. We don't want to help coaches too, but we're going to be there for the fan. We're willing to put stuff out there for the fans.
And it's going to be great.
And we've got some different things. We've got a coach's blog, which will give you a little insight into what coaches maybe go through. We've got the Back in '82 stuff that we talked about earlier. We've got obviously the box score itself is going to be the big thing. Just bringing that coverage.
You're going to be able to go like you used to and see who scored how many points.
Got to score 10 points, get your whole name in the paper.
There you go.
If you score 9, you just get your last name only.
I don't want to ruin his surprise, but you got a little feature of Finding Madry coming up.
That's in the heading. I will tell that story. When I was at Jackson State, playing for Coach Allen and Coach Greer, Mike Greer, he was the assistant. Mike Greer was our head coach. And Mike Greer is a legend in so many different ways. He's just a legendary guy.
Had a big influence over a lot of people.
Oh, he did. But it influenced my life tremendously.
Mine too.
But one of the things that he would do is in the box score, nobody fact checked those things back in the day. So he had this friend named Madry. I won't say his first name. I don't know if he wants out there or not, but his buddy
never got double digits. So
yeah, he never got double digits. 2 points was his limit. But a couple of times a year, he would sneak Madry into the box score for 2 points. So people would be like, who is Madry? And it's like, if you added the score up, it didn't really add up. And again, nobody tallied that. So what we've done at the box score, kind of a tribute to Where's Waldo, is we're going to be doing a little bit of Where's Madry. And somewhere within the box score, he'll be from a different team every week. There's going to be a Madry 2 in every box score that's out there on the page. Somewhere will be a Madry 2. So that's a little nugget for you to look for, is the Where's Madry in the box scores.
Are you gonna give a prize to who finds him first?
Well, I'm hoping, as of right now, I don't have anything set up, but I'm hoping to give a Craig's Pizza in Camden at some point and run a promotion.
I'm gonna cheat then.
I don't know if I can get them to buy in on handing out pizza for somebody finding Madrid or not, but Craig's Pizza, I'm gonna give them a plug for free. Best pizza, one of the best pizza places around in Camden, Tennessee. That's where Coach Greer is from. So anyway, just want to try to have fun with this thing, but also bring some information that's just been missing, that just hadn't been able to find the last few years on the box scores. And you're talking about the clinic. Rick Burt.
Yes.
Spoke it there.
Yeah, he was our guest speaker this year.
Again.
He's in our BCAT Hall of Fame.
Well, Julie was there, so I was there in attendance, and Rick Byrd was talking about Don Meyer. Most everybody remembers Don Meyer, and I have to tell my Don Meyer story on here. When I was at Bethel playing for Mike Neighbor, we went up to play David Lipscomb, and everybody that knows Don remembers, or I should say Coach Meyer. I don't have the right to call him Don. It was Coach Meyer. He had that tape recorder he was always talking into, and somebody, I don't know, Wallace probably did something, made Neighbor mad, so I got to go in the game. I'm going to check in, and Don Meyer's got his tape recorder. Coach Meyer says, number 12, shooter, checking in. So I've arrived. If Don Meyer said I was a shooter, I was a shooter then. So that's my verification.
It would have been great if he'd have said, number 12, he's a maker.
Yeah. I'll take shooter from Coach Meyer. So
Eric made a bunch of them, I can tell you that. So.
Getting to be on his tape recorder, that's awesome. A highlight of my playing career. One of the highlights is the Don Meyer shooter checking in. Loved it. But what else, Coach? What else? We're going to tell some stories, but again, as we said coming in, most of our stories is in the BC.
It made you forget about them.
Yeah, hard to remember. And one of the things with this website, and I don't think I'd mentioned this earlier, is every Monday there's going to be a devotional. About 15 years ago, I met a guy named Jesus, changed my life in every way. And Tim can attest to it. He's known me both before and after, and it's been a greatest thing ever happened to me. So I couldn't do this website without including my Lord and Savior. So every Monday there'll be a devotional page there. I hope you check that out. It'll always be free. That'll be up for free every Monday. But
y'all can't see Rachel that's sitting right behind here, but I used to tell Eric, I said, Rachel has really turned your life around. And Eric would tell me she did, but someone else had a bigger turnaround. That was Jesus. So.
Amen. My wife's been wonderful. She's been very supportive of this endeavor. As the last few weeks, the amount of time I've spent working on writing articles, and I'm not a writer. I'm notorious for spelling and grammar. I had to learn what Grammarly was and put it to use. So, but we've had a lot of fun trying to get this thing started. And again, I hope it's something the fans can really enjoy and come find some stuff that just hadn't been out there in a while. And anything else?
I wish you best of luck. I think it's going to be great. It's been needed in this area for a long time.
All right, well, Coach.
West Tennessee,
WestTNBoxScore.com. Yep, and we'll have a
when
Facebook
you get T-shirts
page.
and stuff.
Yeah, we'll go big with it over time. Y'all all subscribe to the page, and we'll go real big. Yeah, and we're going to carry this. We're starting out with basketball, obviously. I just had a lot of ties in the 20 years of coaching, and my dad was a coach, grew up a coach's son. So, by the way, I don't even know if I ever said my name, Eric Hampton, here with Tim Allen. But it's late in the podcast for that, but there you go.
Maybe they hadn't turned it off yet.
Yeah, maybe you're still watching. But been around basketball my whole life, so a little bit of a junkie anyway. So that's where we're going to start.
He's quite the trivia person, too.
Give me some Shakespeare.
Yeah.
But we're going to carry this over into baseball and softball. I think that's two other sports that have been grossly undercovered over the last few years. Try to get some coverage to them. And then my guy Nathan Lewis, he's got so much stuff on football. I think that's what he can't wait till next fall. We're not going to try to dive into football till next fall, but he's going to do a great job with some of the stuff we'll have coming up next fall. So just be kind of a year round. We've got something to do in the summer now. We'll come make some podcasts at the BCAT clinic.
That'd be awesome.
Or camps.
Yep.
All right. Well, thanks again,
All right.
Coach, for
All right,
coming on.
thank you.
Love you.
Love you. Thank you.
Appreciate
you having me on.
All right. Signing off.